Hello friends, this is Jack from Gyokko Anime Recap, and today, I'm going to explain the new 2023 spring anime called Demon Slayer, Season 3, Episode 1. But before that, please like this video and share it with your friends. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell for more anime recaps. Akaza's gaze was filled with displeasure as the Biwa demon continued to play her instrument. He was soon greeted by one of his upper-rank colleagues, Gyokko, as he watched the performance. The potted demon inquired about how Gyokko had been doing after 90 long years, and expressed insincere concern for Akaza being the slain upper rank. However, Hantengu quickly corrected him, as it had been 113 years since they were last summoned. He went on to express his concern over the oddity and unluckiness of the number. Ignoring their conversation, Akaza turned to the Biwa demon and asked if Muzan had arrived, to which she replied with a no. He then questioned if upper rank one had arrived, but before the Biwa demon could answer, Doma intervened by placing a hand on Akaza's shoulder. He urged Akaza to show some concern for his own well-being, as he did not want to see any of his precious buddies die. As Gyokko and Doma engage in friendly banter, Gyokko compliments the pot he had given Doma, who reveals its usefulness. Akaza interrupts their conversation, demanding that Doma remove his hand from his shoulder. When Doma doesn't comply, Akaza violently punches him, only for Doma to quickly recover and ask if Akaza has become stronger since they last met. This taunt infuriates the tattoo demon. Finally, the Biwa demon reveals that upper rank one had already arrived, surprising Akaza, who quickly spots his silent colleague. Kokushibo confirms his presence and that of their master. As each upper rank reacts to the arrival of their leader, Muzan notes that Gyutaro has perished. Doma expressed remorse for Gyutaro's inability to succeed and speculated on the repercussions Muzan might impose on him. However, the ancient demon declined all of Doma's suggestions, as he had already foreseen upper rank Six's defeat. Muzan went on to say that he didn't have high expectations for his subordinates, which Doma questioned since he thought he had never failed to meet his master's standards. Muzan countered by pointing out that the Ubuyashiki family was still alive, and that the blue spider lily had yet to be located, which made him question the purpose of the upper ranks. Each of the upper ranks tried to justify their failures, except for Akaza and Gyokko. The latter offered Muzan some information he claimed would aid him in achieving his objectives. Muzan swiftly decapitates the upper rank, scolding Gyokko for talking about change when he only desires permanence. He expresses extreme displeasure over the death of an upper rank after more than a century and berates Gyokko for providing unverified information. Muzan demands that the upper rank serve him with unwavering loyalty from that moment forward, urging Gyokko to join Hantengu if he can confirm the information. He then departs. Doma requests to accompany Gyokko on his mission, but Akaza crushes the upper part of his head, ordering him to leave since Muzan has not issued any instructions. With shock and dismay, Akaza watches as Kokushibo swiftly slices off his arm. Doma steps in to defend Akaza, but Kokushibo chastises Akaza for his behavior, claiming that it only damages relationships between the upper ranks. Kokushibo suggests that if Akaza is truly bothered by the situation, he should battle Doma for his spot as upper rank too. Doma objects, pointing out that Akaza would not be able to raise his rank, given how much more powerful he was, having become a demon much later than Akaza. This only fuels Akaza's anger further. Doma explains how he allowed Akaza to use violence on him as a way to connect with him, but Kokushibo ignores him and asks Akaza if he understood his message. Akaza affirms, stating that he will definitely defeat Kokushibo one day, receiving words of encouragement from his superior as he departs from the fortress. As Akaza exits, Doma tries to strike up a conversation with him, but Akaza ignores him. Gyokko then requests Neikime to send him and Hantengu to their next destination, and she complies. When Doma attempts to speak with Neikime, she sends him back to his cult, causing him to feel disheartened by his colleagues' coldness. In a different location, a man is sitting inside a house, while another person named Sumiyoshi brings him tea and food. The man expresses his gratitude for the hospitality, while Sumiyoshi apologizes for his sleeping wife and the need for their guest to babysit his child. However, the man assures him that it's not a problem and tells Sumiyoshi that he can't keep receiving free meals from him. Sumiyoshi insists that his family owes their lives to the man and offers to pass down his guest's story, since he has no heirs. Although Sumiyoshi sees the man as powerful, the man humbly declines, saying that his heritage will find a way to continue on its own. The man then reflects on his inability to protect what was important to him, and how he feels worthless. Tanjiro, who is heavily bandaged and hooked up to IVs, has a dream of this scene, and is moved to tears, hoping that the man won't view himself that way. Suddenly, a vase falls, and Kaneo appears in the doorway, revealing that Tanjiro has been unconscious for 2 months, and expressing her relief that he's finally awake. In the hallways of the Butterfly Mansion, a Kikuchi named Goto walks with a plate of castella. He reflects on how 2 months have passed since the fight in Yoshiwara, Tokyo, and how gravely injured the swordsmen were, particularly Tanjiro Kamado. Goto hopes that the sweet aroma of the dessert he's carrying might help wake Tanjiro up from his coma. As he enters the room, he sees a broken vase on the ground, making him silently furious. He informs Kaneo Tsuyuri that he brought a dessert for Tanjiro and requests her to clear a space to set it down. Tanjiro weakly expresses his gratitude towards Goto for the dessert, while Kaneo quietly observes. Goto stands by Tanjiro's bed, but loses his grip on the plate. After a brief pause, he bursts out at Kaneo for not informing him about Tanjiro regaining consciousness, berating her in a humorous yet insubordinate way before rushing to inform Kiyo, Sumi, Naho, and Aoi. The 3 young girls, Kiyo, Sumi, and Naho, shed tears of joy upon discovering that Tanjiro has finally awakened after 2 months in a coma. However, their moment of happiness is short-lived as Aoi comes crashing into the room, having gotten caught in the laundry. After disentangling herself, Aoi joins the girls in sobbing at Tanjiro's bedside. Tanjiro asks about the other members of his team, and is informed that Zenitsu had left after waking up the day after the battle, while Tenjin, the Sound Hashira, had left with his wives despite being badly injured, leaving the Kikuchi in awe of his toughness. When Tanjiro inquires about Inosuke, he is told that Inosuke had been severely poisoned and was on the brink of death. To Tanjiro's surprise, Inosuke suddenly appears hanging upside down from the ceiling, loudly praising himself for his poison resistance and bragging about waking up a week before Tanjiro. Tanjiro spots him facing the ceiling and comments on it, causing Inosuke to drop down onto the bed. The 3 girls express their displeasure to Inosuke and ask him to get off the bed, emphasizing that he is not normal, as stated by Shinobu. Kiyo shows Tanjiro an image of a honey badger, which has a thick and protective hide, making it resistant to poison, much like Inosuke, according to Shinobu. Inosuke listens to their discussion and brags about his apparent immortality, but Goto quickly corrects him, calling him a fool. This leads to an argument between Inosuke and Goto, and Aoi rushes to intervene, cautioning Inosuke to be careful and remember important information. As the argument becomes more heated, Kaneo tries to calm everyone down, but eventually has to shout to silence them because Tanjiro has fallen asleep again. Inosuke panics, thinking Tanjiro has slipped back into a coma, but the others reassure him that Tanjiro just needs to rest. After a week of rest and recovery, Tanjiro's health had improved significantly. Inosuke, on the other hand, had taken up a new job, keeping himself busy. While Tanjiro was focused on regaining his strength, he couldn't help but think about his new sword. He decided to ask Kiyo and Naho about it, hoping for good news. However, the girls were hesitant to tell him the truth. They revealed to him that Hataru, the swordsmith, had only sent letters so far, and the content of those letters were filled with angry scrawlings of hate. Tanjiro was crestfallen upon hearing this news. Kyo tried to uplift his spirits by saying that Hataru was just being difficult, and that he should try to meet him at the Swordsmith village to discuss the matter in person. Tanjiro was eager to visit the village, and to his relief, Kagaya granted him permission to go. But before Tanjiro could leave, Kagaya sent a Kikushi to accompany him. The Kikushi informed Tanjiro that in order to keep the village's location a secret, he would need to put on a blindfold, earplugs, and nose plugs. Tanjiro was slightly apprehensive, but understood the necessity. As Tanjiro journeyed to the Swordsmith village, he was frequently passed on to new Kikushi, and even the crows were swapped to keep the location's secrecy intact. After being carried to the Swordsmith village by the Kikushi, Tanjiro is amazed by the delightful scent of the hot springs that fill the air. His appreciation for the Kikushi who transported him echoes throughout the hot springs, the loudness of which is heard by none other than the Love Hashira Mitsuri Kanroji, who is enjoying a bath in a nearby spring. Mitsuri becomes curious about the source of the noise, and sets out to investigate it. Meanwhile, Tanjiro meets the village's chief, Tekken Tekikawahara, who introduces himself as the best swordsmith in the village. At Tekken's request, Tanjiro bows before him as a sign of respect. The chief informs Tanjiro that the village is currently looking for Hataru Haganazuka, who had disappeared a few days prior. Tanjiro admires the cute name of his swordsmith, but Tekken reveals that Hataru himself hates it. He also shares that Hataru has always had a temper, and when Tanjiro tries to apologize for breaking his swords and contributing to his anger, Tekken brushes it off, emphasizing that Hataru should be able to create a sword that wouldn't break. Tekken assures Tanjiro that they will locate Hataru or find another swordsmith to forge a new blade for him. They part ways, with Tekken recommending that Tanjiro relax in the hot springs. As Tanjiro continues to explore the Swordsmith village, he runs into Mitsuri Kanroji, the Love Hashira, who is fuming about being ignored when she asks for someone's name at the hot springs. Tanjiro manages to calm her down by telling her that dinner for the guests was almost ready. Mitsuri excitedly rushes off to join the others, while Tanjiro heads to the hot springs. However, as soon as he gets there, he's hit by a sudden pain in his tooth. Much to his surprise, he discovers that it was Genya Shinazugawa, a fellow demon slayer, who struck him. Tanjiro jumps into the water to join Genya, hoping to converse with him and maybe even strike up a friendship. Unfortunately, Genya is still holding a grudge against Tanjiro for his involvement in the death of his older brother, Genya Shinazugawa. Back at the village, Tanjiro chats with Mitsuri about her impressive appetite and her own experience growing up with 5 younger siblings. They both express their desire to someday have a pleasant conversation with Genya. In an effort to extend an olive branch, Tanjiro decides to bring Genya some leftovers from dinner, even though he didn't show up. While strolling with Nezuko, Tanjiro curiously asks Mitsuri about her reason for joining the Demon Slayer Corps. Mitsuri blushes and admits that she joined in hopes of finding a strong man to marry and protect her. Tanjiro is taken aback by her response, but listens attentively as she continues to share her thoughts. As they walk, a Kikushi approaches and informs Mitsuri that her new sword will soon be ready for inspection and adjustment. Mitsuri bids farewell to Tanjiro and praises him for his hard work, complimenting the siblings. Before parting ways, she hints at a secret weapon that could make him stronger, which piques Tanjiro's interest. The next day, Tanjiro searches the forest for Hataru and contemplates the secret weapon Mitsuri mentioned. Suddenly, he spots 2 figures in the distance, one of whom is revealed to be Muichiro Tokito, the Mist Hashira. And the other one is a little kid with a mask on his face. Not only this, he also sees another figure with red hair, and realizes that he already assessed this figure in his dream. And this brings the anime to an end. Comment for part 2. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends. Also, subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell, so you never miss out on another video. Until next time, take care.